Here is how to make great videos out of virtually nothing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yo.
Make sure to stick with me to the end of this video because point number 3, I can guarantee you, is going to change the way you approach filmmaking as a beginner, or even if you are an intermediate or just getting into video making. These lessons are going to be very valuable, and I can guarantee you that if you stick with me till the end, you are going to be taking along very valuable lessons that are going to surely transform your filmmaking career.
Who could touch me in my body and my soul? I love the way you love.
Full disclosure, this is a video I shot for an artist based in the Upper West region of Ghana called MILLAR. This is a guy I've worked with in the past, and I know that he truly believes in what I do. And that takes me to the first point, which is work with people who believe in your capabilities. Now, as a beginner, you may underrate this and do not think that this does not have so much impact on your creative level. To further contextualize the situation that we found ourselves in, I went there to shoot a music video for him, and after we were done, I had another extra day to spend. We didn't just want to waste another day just sitting around, so we came up with the idea that, hey, why don't we go out there and shoot another music video? Now, there was a problem. And the problem here was that we did not have any solid concept in place yet. Unlike the other video, because remember, I went there to shoot one video which we had extensively planned and discussed ahead of time. But here is a case we had barely 24 hours to plan this particular video. So we had to listen to the song over and over again, and ideas came. Now, if you do not work with people who really trust in your ability, trust me, in cases like this, you are going to fall short of whatever that you are going to be able to put out there. And that takes me to the next point. It's about planning against what is available. So in this particular instance, these locations already existed, and we knew that all we had to do was just to drive several miles to get to this particular location where we can get access to so many other things, which of course are going to be for free. And this ties again to the next point, which is select locations that are already epic or cinematic enough. I don't know, that is why I use the word cinematic in quote, because these days it gets thrown around the internet because cinematic goes beyond just camera angles. I digress. So from the location, it looked really epic, and our intention, since our budget was so limited and we didn't even plan this ahead of time, it wasn't our intention to alter so much in the location, but to work within the strengths of the location and avoid the weaknesses. Now to the most important point of all. But before I get to that, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, which is you watching me right now. Yes, I know you are surprised, but you are the sponsor of this video. You know how you sponsor this video? Just by clicking the like button, because that goes a long way in helping other people discover this channel right here on YouTube. Thank you so much for clicking on the like button. You know what? I am staggered by your generosity. Let's get back into the video. I call this technique invisible puppeteering technique. Let's break down this word. Invisible puppeteering, then of course a technique. Invisible is something that cannot be seen. A puppeteer is someone who controls puppets. But in this case, we are saying that the puppeteer is going to be invisible. What do I mean by that in the context of filmmaking? I saw this awesome location in the water, and I wanted to get the artist and the model on top of this bridge right here. And because we are not indigents, we didn't really know the depth of the water and whether it's too deep or not. And so this is where working with communities or people around where you are shooting really comes in handy. So we had to bring in this guy who helped to direct us to walk to that particular site. Hence, if you watch the video, you are not going to see this guy directing us to that particular location. So he's invincible. But without his help, this shot would certainly have not been possible. So he's basically a puppeteer who helped us to do this without being seen. And in most cases, the director or the makers end up taking most of the credit to the detriment of these people. I mean, that's just how it is sometimes. Life is unfair. But you do get the point. Make sure not to work in isolation. If you are working in an area, collaborate with the locals, because trust me, it is going to save you a lot of times. And in most cases, you may even have an idea and you are not too sure where to find it. And once you tell them, they'll be like, there's this place here. Oh, can you check out here? They will actually expose you to more places that you really least expected that would exist in such communities. And also, in some cases, especially here in Africa, you show up to such places, and when they don't see a community member or an opinion leader with you, they may become agitated, and sometimes they may end up causing commotion. If you want to know how violent some of these things can get, you can watch my story time as to how it got bloody flying a drone around an African slum. The last but one of the important points is to work with natural light. I cannot tell you how this has saved me so many times and also aided me to make great videos. In this particular occasion, I did not travel with any sort of lighting equipment because I really needed to keep my equipment footprint very low, and I had to travel via public means, and it's quite dangerous transporting so much equipment. Hence, I had to meticulously select what I had to travel with in this particular scenario. So working with natural light was my best friend. Hence, in this case, I chose a time of day where the sun is still at a particular angle and not directly overhead. And another technique I used right here was to use something called the upstage lighting, which is always shooting from the shadowy part of the face. So in this particular example, the sun is coming from this particular direction. Hence, I placed the camera at the shadowy part of the face, shooting towards the light. And this is actually called the upstage lighting. There are different names to it, but this is one of the most widely used terms for this particular technique. However, it wasn't possible to use it on every single shot because in this wide shot, as you can see, we established the geographical location of all the characters. So the ladies are standing very close to the water and the artist is riding the bike and coming from this particular direction. So from where the ladies are, based on the location constraints, it will not be possible to place them in such a way that we'll get the upstage lighting technique, because that will be disorienting or changing their positions, which will in turn disorienting the geography which we already established in the wide shot. So this is something I had to contend with. And by shooting like this, that was where my matte box came in handy, where I was able to block out a lot of the sun flares. This was my first time in using this matte box, and oh boy, I really saw their importance. Aside the fact that these kind of things just make your camera look so cool and makes you already feel like you are making a movie, trust me, it just makes a world of difference in terms of how clean your image will look. I'm going to be making a detailed review on this matte box, so if you are not subscribed to this channel yet, I'll do much appreciate it if you do click on the subscribe button. Please make sure to do turn on the post notification bell so you are notified anytime I drop awesome content like this right here from the continent of Africa. On this channel, we do talk about cinematography, photography, editing, and all its related branches. We also watch movies and talk about other movie industries all across the globe. And if this sounds interesting, I'll much appreciate it if you click on the subscribe button. Before we end the video, if you are interested in seeing this full video or following any of these models right here, Nombo, Success, or the artist himself, Bob Miller, I'm going to have links to all of their social handles in the description below. Please check out these guys because they are awesome, especially the models guys. They pulled up and they really did a lot of magic for us. And my very good friend, Mr. Wisdom Yang, without him, all this would never have been possible. And so remember that working with passionate people and people who believe in you is one of the major things that will lead you into creating great visuals out of nothing. I'll see you in this video where I talk about how I lost my drone in an African slum. Until next time, as always, guys, keep practicing filmmaking. Peace out.